Hello, 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 Virgos. How are you doing today? It is awfully warm here in Oregon. Wherever you are, we're hitting triple digits. Little too hot for me, but hey, at least my house has air conditioning in most of the rooms, not all of them. But welcome. For those of you that are brand new, thank you for checking my website or my channel out. I do have a website as well, you'll see down below, but thank you for checking it out. For those that are returning, I hope these readings are resonating with you. Some of you, I noticed, have sent comments to me and stuff off to the side, so I appreciate that, but hopefully they're resonating with you. Something in there should be, only because my readings are coming from the divine, not me. I'm just the conduit and the message, so whatever is going on. That's why I really enjoy doing one-on-one readings, because I really can get into somebody's energies and also their oh, interesting. Sorry, the background has sort of froze up, so I want to make sure that you guys were still there. But one-on-one, it's really great, because then that way I can actually refill somebody's energies, even if it's through Skype or Google, what do they call it, Hangout, or even WhatsApp, or wherever we can do a visual. It does actually help a lot. But I know some people don't like to do that. But if you ever want a reading, the information is down below. I just started my new website. It's in the process of being made. So if you need to do a booking, please email me from that website, or comment, or send a message, because my schedule is still being put up over there. So, I mean, even though my channel is new here, I was on here before, but set it up wrong. So here we are again, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and hope you guys are too. So if you need any more information and you're new, please go to the About page, and it will actually tell you how I do my readings, because they're not me. They are the divine, and sometimes the divine just goes off on a tangent, and I got to go with what he is trying to share with you, because this is not for me. All right, so let's get started. Virgo, this is actually from August 3rd to the 9th. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. I cannot believe we're in August. Wow, it is crazy, crazy, crazy. So I'm going to collect an oracle to see what our energies and vibrations are. So I'm also going to timestamp these. So if you're watching these from now on, you'll see a timestamp where you can go straight to the reading if you don't want to listen to the updates, because here's the new update. You should. Only because I do give new information and things that are videos that are coming up, or maybe new things that I'm going to be doing. And this is what I'm going to be doing new. So I'm going to be doing all my readings live from now on, so that people can actually come in and ask questions. You'll be able to ask 1 or 2 questions. And at the end, I will pick a question. Actually, I won't. The divine will, because I'm not sure who it's going to be for. And that will actually, I'm just going to make sure this is recording, because this is actually being really weird. Okay, so it looks like it is. It's just, I think the chat might be off for some reason. But if it is, if you're here and you do see the chat, could you let me know? That would be great, because I want to make sure these are live for you. And I want to make sure that you can ask a question if you want. And at the end, I will answer those. So sometimes it's better to wait towards the end to ask your question, but I will get to them. All right, so let's get started from August 3rd to August 9th. And let's see what the vibration is and the energy is for that week. Coming up, oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm really on track. I finally slowed down. Slowed down. All right, let's see here. I'm going to cut these one more time. That's what I'm being told. So I will cut these one more time. If you also hear me say thank you occasionally, I am thanking the divine or whoever they have coming through. I don't know who is being sent through. I just want to make sure that I am being respectful of the information that they're giving. So Virgo, One Ring Circus. If I remember right, last week's reading, you were coming out of something hard and things were going to be getting better, if I remember right. So we still might be on that same track, but One Ring Circus is all about, you're not only doing it yourself, but sometimes checking in with ourselves, checking in where we're at with ourselves in anything that we're doing. Oh, okay. I'm going to show you here these in a minute. I can't remember the reading last week. I should look at that and see, because I think this is actually, I'm getting the energies that this is following from last week. So if you haven't watched Virgos for the, what is it, the 27th through the 7th or 2nd of August, you might want to go through back. I'm getting the energy that this is connected. So I don't know what that is, other than I remember that you're coming out of a struggle and that you were being offered the world. So, yeah. So coming out of the chute, we have actually the Two of Wands upside down. Now, if it's upside right, we actually are looking for something into the future. We're thinking about something, getting our ducks in a row. We're doing good about that, plan ahead kind of thing, but actually we're upside down, so it looks like somebody might not be planning properly, and maybe that's what the One Ring Circus is about. Maybe they're not looking to the future, which is fine, because we actually should be living in the now anyway. But if there's something coming up for the future that needs to have planning, time to get on ball and start planning. So that's where that is. So and this could mean travel. So maybe some travel was canceled. Maybe you were supposed to travel somewhere far and it was canceled. And so maybe now we're having to, okay, thank you for that, check on that, because we're actually very disappointed. So whatever this is, we're really disappointed. We're losing a little sleep, maybe even having nightmares about it. But we're really focused in on whatever this is. And I'm hearing that somebody feels really alone right at this moment. I don't know who that is for, but the divine or whoever is coming through is saying that they really feel alone. Just know you're not alone. The divine is always there, and that's really hard to understand if you don't have a relationship with divine or spirit. So then that could be really challenging because you're thinking from an earthly perspective. Yeah. So, and you know, some people ask, well, how do I do that? And that's why I put all my Get Balanced 2020 stuff on the bottom, because they're all free videos for you, from spiritual to mindset to body. And that's why I do that. I don't do it really to toot my own horn. I do it so that if you really have questions and want answers, those are some places you can go for free to do that with. So what is it that you guys are losing sleep over or worried about, you know? Oh, okay. I always do that. I always make that face when I see this one. So there's some hurt, some pain. And now you're, okay, so you're basically back to being a single person, or maybe not even that. Maybe you're been betrayed. Maybe you've been just hurt emotionally. Maybe you've been, I'm sure the divine will let me know here shortly what that is. But just know that that is a temporary thing. And this is where sometimes we say we go from the bottom up, or, you know, when we need to start something fresh and new. A lot of the times the hurt is to protect us, to save us from something, to give us a lesson. Or if this isn't you, maybe this is happening to a friend or somebody coming to you that needs help, that may resonate with you, that they're having a really hard time. They are losing a lot of sleep and they're tormented about it and crying about it. And that's okay, because that's grief. Anytime we lose anything, whether it be our house, a job, whatever it is, there is a grief process, especially when you've put so much energy and the investment into something. So maybe somebody's plans were canceled is what I'm feeling here. And there's a lot of disappointment in that. I heard the word depression, and I hope that if it's an earthly thing, depression is basically a lot to do with earth, because we expect one thing, and when the reality isn't what it is, what we expected, then we get depressed, we get despair, we get frustrated, when in reality we didn't have all the information, or we were expecting something that isn't what do you call it, realistic. So sometimes that comes through there. So if you are actually, your plans got, just remember that things happen for a reason. And I think at this time, with all that's going on, we as people, human beings, we're learning that we need to be more flexible, more understanding and compassionate. As you know, many of you know, we're Disney fanatics. Well, because my daughter works for Disney, but I'm watching a lot of these more professional companies that do Disney trips and they do Disney blogs, and they're saying that people are getting really upset in Disneyland or Disney World because of all the changes and things aren't working right or things are closed. These are flexibilities that are so simple and just go with the flow kind of thing, you know, and that's what I'm talking about. We as human beings, when we're in a relationship, we have to understand that whatever we're in, and if something falls apart, we need to learn to not only stand our ground. We don't want to backtrack, and we don't want to do any of that kind of stuff, but we do need to stand our ground, because the battle is worth winning. You know, it is worth winning, and our battle is actually between our heart, our spirit, and earth, our heart and our head, really, because a lot of us want to think here when we actually should be thinking here, because here has all the answers. And what I mean by that is, like, if you start dating somebody and you know, well, I can compromise, that's the wrong attitude. Even though your heart is saying, no, don't compromise, I have something better for you. Your heart is telling you this, but you're like, you know what, I'm never going to find anything better. I'll compromise. I'll go out with them, rather than keeping your standards up. So this is where the battles, you sort of won the battle. You're sort of sitting there taking a breath. Okay, you've just gotten through something. You know what? Thanks. I appreciate that. So they're just saying, yeah, last week they went through something too. So obviously this is being carried over, like I had said. So whoever is telling me this information, it is being carried over. And that's okay, because it's coming to an end. It's really coming to an end. And you've stood your ground. You need to stand your ground, and even in those weak moments, stand your ground, keep your boundaries, because it's going to bring you even better, more wonderful harvest, more wonderful gifts, because there's a lesson in all of this that you learn. Now, if this is with a relationship, with a job or a coworker or whatever, this is the same thing. Maybe somebody betrayed you at work, got a promotion that you were supposed to get. You know, you stood your ground, you were being honest, you were doing everything that you were doing. That's okay, because you know what, Spirit sees that, and that whatever is happening for a reason, and that those dots to dots will connect later. So Virgo, you're so hard on yourself, so try to lighten up. Yeah, so apparently something was being amiss, So whether something was sort of not being told to honestly, or something was being hidden sort of sneakably off, that could be anything. It could be work, school, it could be, you know, anybody, lying, cheating, that kind of thing, to get away with something, you know, to sneak off in the night. Maybe you won't notice, kind of thing. And then we've got, that's the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is about the heart again. You know, we got a lot of wands and a lot of cup. Well, we've got one cup, but we got the cup, and then we've also got the Three of Hearts, the swords. But the other thing too is, okay, thank you about that. So before I go to this card, when I said the Three of Swords, they said it is about the truth. So I'm not quite sure who that is for, but look and watch for the truth, because each side of the sword is either truth or lies. And so watch for that side of the truth is what I was just told before I go to this card. So the Eight of Wands, of course, is about communication, but it is also about something coming in fast and moving fast. So that's a good thing, you know, because maybe when these two are coming, this torture you're putting yourself through is actually going to end fast, is what I hear. Now, the fastness depends on you, on how well you're good at letting things go. Okay, so when you let go of things, then things begin to actually start to move forward. So you put yourself in sort of a stuck place while you're grieving, and that's fine because you need to take time. But some people stay there and stay there and stay there and stay there, or they live in the past. Yeah. So Three of Wands, so you've got actually the Two of Wands and Three of Wands. So you're contemplating things, you are thinking about things, you are looking towards the future, and that's a good thing because those things need to be done. Those things need to be looked at, and being a one-ring circus is okay for the moment. It is okay for the moment. All right, let's see what else Divine has to say. Again, I don't know who Divine has come through. I mean, it could be the Divine most likely sending somebody, I would imagine, because I know Divine's voice, and sometimes this is, and sometimes it's not. But the thing is that I do get messages, vibrations, energies. I get, they have me point something out on these cards and focus in on that, and then they throw in a message towards that. So I do hear what is going on through whoever is coming through. So we've got the Five of Pentacles. Pentacles are basically, especially with the Five of Pentacles, could be somebody's, well, we know that we're injured. So it could also not only mean that injured of the heart, but it could be physical injury. It could be somebody got hurt, could have been, you know, car accident. I would not want to think it's domestic abuse, definitely. But I don't know. Only you and Divine know. So somebody might have got hurt physically, maybe also too somebody might be ill, somebody might have lost a loved one to COVID, or other means. It doesn't have to be COVID. A lot of the times they say it is, and it's really not. So this could be a matter of that. So there is something about the communication, but something definitely is hidden there. Be mindful to pay attention to the details this week. I don't know what that means to you, but be mindful to keep in touch with the view. Sorry, I felt a really strong breeze behind me. I thought maybe, who knows who it was. Trying to distract me is what they're trying to do. But be mindful of the details on what this might pertain to. and we know when people get hurt or like there's a car accident, there is heartbreak there. There is like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? You know, you do start thinking about the future. You do start thinking about your own mortality. You do start thinking about, you know, like at my age, I start thinking about, okay, what's going to happen to me as I get older, because I'm going to probably become less ambulatory. What is going to happen to me? Who's going to take care of me? Who's going to, those kind of things. Now, if you're young, you don't have to worry about that, right? Not right now. Anytime things can happen, but here, I'm not sure who that's for, but please be mindful. Maybe somebody is really needing help. This also could mean that too, you know, it's sort of obvious, you know, they're in the cold, you know, they're just, you know, probably homeless, or maybe they're had a trauma that they left themselves homeless, you know, like a disaster or something. We don't know. But the thing is that this card also can mean, too, that you maybe feel like you're left out in the cold, or maybe somebody else that you know is left out in the cold. So this could be for you. It could be for somebody other than you, maybe a family, a friend, or something like that. So that could be part of it too, especially when there is heartbreak and you're losing sleep. So there had to have been some kind of little kerfuffle. When I say a kerfuffle, I mean sort of like a little argument kind of thing, that you had to stand up for your rights. Also, too, thank you. Maybe this means that you're not being listened to, or that person isn't being listened to. A lot of thinking going on here. Overthinking is what I'm hearing. A lot of overthinking. I think in this case, and that's why maybe it's so hard, because you think you're doing it all alone, and maybe there isn't. It doesn't have to be a one-ring circus. So this is for this week, though. So let me see if there's what more the divine has to say with this. More for the Virgos. What else is there? Can you share with me? I know they're losing sleep and there's some heartache here. There seems to have been just a challenge like no tomorrow with this. But from last week, there was a good future, and I think this card actually showed up last week, but it was 2 up. So, excuse me, I had a tuna fish sandwich. So I'm thinking that maybe this is being carried over. Oh, okay, thank you. Somebody has to start from scratch, is what I just heard. Yeah, and it is. It's a hard place. They're saying it's a hard place to start from scratch. Think about it, is what I just heard. Think about everything. But something's fast. I don't know what this is. The communication is fast. Something's coming in fast, or something's going out fast. This is just, this too shall pass kind of thing. It's either coming in or coming out. So is there more for this one here? Am I reading this correctly? Is this more that you want to say? I would like more clarification on this one here. On the 8 of Cups. Can you give me more clarification on what that is about, please? Can I? That one's throwing me a little bit. Okay. Oh. So somewhere, I don't know if it's a female, male. It could be, if you're in a, in a relationship, it could be either one. But even if it's friends, it could be either one. I'm feeling, not because of the card, but I'm feeling this is more of a female thing. And this, the Queen of Wands, is actually about, she's very independent. Maybe, oh, okay, thank you. So whoever the person is here is got too much independence. Sometimes as a woman, we've been a single mom for a long time, that actually we try to do everything. Trust me, I've been there. My husband, who is no longer my husband, I would have loved to have him keep my husband. He just couldn't put up with such an independent woman. Actually, I was way too independent. In fact, one time he told me, he said, I was moving furniture and he came home from work and he goes, let me help you. I said, no, I got it. And he goes, what do you need me for? What do you need me for? You do everything. You're like a man. You do everything. What do you need me for? And I said, I don't need you. I want you. Bad thing to say. Anyway, sometimes we become too independent. Also, this person seems to like to flutter around like a butterfly, whether they're, oh, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you. When I said that, they said sometimes they're spending too much energy and time outside of what needs to be here. So if it is a relationship, they're spending too much time maybe with their friends, too much time in their hobby, maybe too much time exercising, and not including whoever this is that apparently is brokenhearted. So, and that could mean maybe just adjusting yourself a little bit, because the little black cat there is actually part of knowing your intuition and everything, but that's knowing your shadow side, which is a little bit about your little naughty side kind of thing, or your darker side. So I think what I'm hearing Divine or whoever coming through say is that we need to rein things in a little bit, think about things. Because somebody, okay, thank you. This is all making sense now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let's see, how did this go? So we've got these cards here. So if you're looking at, you know, we need to start thinking about what we're doing to maybe somebody's heart, or somebody's doing to our heart. Somebody is literally feeling left out in the cold is what I hear. And it's because somebody is too independent. Somebody is not allowing them in. So if that's you, or if that's somebody coming at you, or maybe somebody you know that you're supposed to be helping. Yeah, so somebody is, and here's the thing about that. Thank you. So with that, what we need to teach each other is okay to be alone. And if you're going to be super independent, that's great. And if that's who you are, that's not a big deal. But to be putting another person in that lifestyle and not being flexible, that's sort of not fair to another person. So sometimes we're happy in our singleness, or we are actually happy to be flexible, because it is a give and take. It is a give and take. So I don't know if this is resonating with anybody there. I feel like it's resonating with somebody, because the Divine is just telling me what to say to somebody out there. Okay, thank you. So I'm a Virgo as well, so I sort of understand. But the thing is, too, is don't be such a perfectionist. So let some things slide every now and then is what they said. Don't have to be such a perfectionist and be in order and do everything and make sure that everything's in order. It says you drive some other people nuts. I've learned that, trust me. And then it becomes more of a control thing, and then it becomes more of an obsession. So with that. So, Divine, is there anything else for this Virgo that seems to be, I wish I knew if it was you that's got the heartache or if it's somebody else, but you're still not showing me. Oh, okay, thank you. So I was just saying, you're still not showing me the 8 of Cups, but they said, yes, I did. So some things actually, maybe somebody likes to go out too much. Maybe somebody likes to party too much. Butterfly kind of thing. When they need to be, oh, sorry, for you young people out there that are in school. I just heard you're partying too much and you need to be focusing on studies. That sounds like a real parent, doesn't it? That's not me. That's what I was just told to say. So who's sneaking out partying? Time to get your books in order and get that focus done so you don't have to go to school anymore or keep going to school longer than you need to. School's expensive anymore. I can't even afford to put my daughter through the last part of her school, which I wish I could. It kills me as a parent not to allow her to finish school. But that's what it happens sometimes, you know. Alrighty. So let's see. Anything else here, Divine? Anybody else coming through? Any other messages here for Virgo? Thank you. So apparently this may either be heading into or coming out of quickly a relationship. And it doesn't have to mean that it's a sexual. It could just mean that it means maybe you're platonic and then you're going into a relationship, or maybe you decided not to, or one partner said this is just not for me, and you know there's a lot of heartache here. So my suggestion to you this week is, oh gosh, sorry. My suggestion to you this week is to try to not think about the past of what's happened. Don't try to think about, oh my gosh, I'm going to be single again. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Oh my gosh, you know, what happened? Was it me? It most likely when somebody breaks up, it's not you. It's an issue with the person who actually did the breaking up. So it's some brokenness that needs to be healed. Doesn't mean that they won't come back. But right at this moment, just know that you need to focus on you, and that you need to hold your standards up and stay strong in that. I'm really surprised I didn't see the strength card. And I don't have, looking at the numerology of it. So we have the 8 of Wands and we have the 8 of Cups, which is very interesting. And the only arcana is the Lover's card. So the focus is going to be on, I would say, the self-communication, self-care, and also, too, just to be able to take a deep breath this week, whatever this is. This may be something that's, I feel it's being carried over from last week. But we're almost at the end. We're almost at the finish now. It all depends on you, on what this is. If it's school, you know, you have to decide, okay, you know, if it was a heartbreak, that something happened that you can't go to school, or maybe you have to change majors, or maybe somebody screwed up on a project and it lowered your grade. I don't know what that is, but keep your standards, keep your grounds, you know, no partying, no playing around kind of thing. If it is work, just remember that a coworker, what goes around will come around, and just keep your standards up, keep your work ethics up, keep everything up like that. Yeah, just give me a second and I will, because I do answer one question, and let me go ahead and see here. Let me finish up here and then I'll do that for you. So just make sure that now, if this is a relationship, you got to let it go. And here's the thing is, you got to let it go for right now anyway, because you need to focus on you. And there's something hidden. Oh my gosh, I could keep going on this one. So this looks like a big love kind of thing, or a relationship kind of thing. But you need to let it go for now. Stop the nightmares, stop the thinkings, those kind of things. You're going to have grief and crying, and that is okay. Just let yourself grieve and move on, because if this person matures and grows up, then they'll be back. But then it'll be on your terms whether you want to take them back, because you're going to keep your standards high and you're going to check them all the time. You know, whether this is a girl or a guy or a guy or a girl, doesn't matter. Keep your standards up and you need to be checking them. You know, if they're saying they're going to be there at 7 o'clock, they're there at 7 o'clock, or you don't go. Or a phone call comes in at 7 o'clock, you're supposed to call at 7 and you don't. Call 3 hours later. Sorry, you told me you were calling at 7. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and you let it go. These are things that you'll just have to get in the habit of doing and setting the boundaries, because somebody here, I think somebody's playing a game. I did this with, I can't remember what, but somebody's sort of hiding and playing a game there. And that's the last thing anybody needs. But unfortunately, it is a game to most men. It's just part of their DNA. Testing and playing and seeing what they can get away with. That's why I talk about checking them. That's a skill that you need to get strength inside you and say, it is okay. If you're going to spend time with me, I'm going to check you. If you say you're going to be here at 7 o'clock, you be here at 7 o'clock. If you're not going to be here at 7 o'clock, you need to call me. You know, those kind of things. We have to, as women, to do that, or you get walked all over. And fear ends up taking that and going. So, you know, it's okay to be the one-ring circus right now. Enjoy that. And actually, now is a time of reflection, growth, licking wounds, taking care of each other, taking care of yourself, and then growing from that. All right, Virgos. So there is your reading for August 3rd to the 9th. I had to look because I cannot believe that we are that far along. Okay. So, and like I said, at the very end of my live readings now, I am going to take 1 or 2 questions depending on what time. And because sometimes Divine actually has me going a long time, and then sometimes they don't have too much. So it all just depends. So I'm going to... if you want to hang out, you can do that, or I will see you next week from the 10th on. But I am going to pull a card for Girl Power right now and see if what the Divine has to say. Hopefully this will resonate, and let me get in thought for a minute, and then I'll see what we're going to do. Jamia, 9/21/93. So I'm pregnant at the moment. Yes, just cards for what to look for the next 2 weeks. So are you meaning to look for, we got to be a little more specific because Divine works in specificity. So do you mean as far as how you feel in your relationship? I don't know if you're with the baby's dad, or I don't know. So what specifically are you talking about for the next 2 weeks? Are you talking physically, financially? Are you talking about emotionally, that kind of thing? Okay. So, looks like you're really thinking about things. I just got huge goosebumps. And this card also can mean disappointment or a little bit of depression. The cups are actually of the heart. And okay, so there's a lot of contemplating here for some reason. There's a lot of thinking going on. Of course, when you have a baby or one being planned, there is a lot of thinking. But this one doesn't have this one has sort of a sad feeling to it. I'm not sure what that means. So, so for the next 2 weeks, the offering of actually communicating, I think, is really important. Also, too, okay, thank you. Trying to lift yourself up when those times are going to be a little bit difficult because your hormones are going to go like this. So, trust me, been there. But the thing is, you might feel really great, but you're thinking about something deep inside. I don't know what that is. So, let's see if Divine has anything else for you for the next 2 weeks. Okay. Wow. A lot of thinking. A lot of thinking. Oh, here. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got 4 cards. I'm going to pull one more because I do not like pulling 4 cards. In Japan, that's not a good card, and I lived in Japan for years. I don't. Yeah, you're probably feeling very emotional. But if you're juggling too many things at one thing too, you might want to back things down. Okay. And then because you want to actually sort of just keep yourself focused on 1 or 2 things, because as you get more into your pregnancy and your partner gets more into that as well, there's going to be a lot more things to come up. So we got the Hermit, which definitely you need to oversee everything, plan everything. You know, even if you have to jot things down like in a sequence, here's what we need to do this month. Here's what we need to do next month. Here's what we can do this month financially. So Hermit is saying to look down, make sure you start planning appropriately what you need to do, and definitely keep moving forward, and also communicating. So Divine is saying this is going to happen frequently. So your emotional side is going to happen. It's going to be a roller coaster. Just be gentle on yourself. And also, too, thank you. What Divine is saying is on those days that you are feeling a little bit emotional, please make sure that you communicate that with your partner, because they're not in your body. They don't know. So he's saying to please make sure that you communicate it. It will keep the waters calm a little bit more, and hopefully that'll help you. So you're in the thinking process. Just, I would say, pull back on something that you're trying to juggle. It's going to get harder and harder if you're trying to juggle too many things. That would be one of the main things that I'm getting. The other thing is, you know, this is going to keep going up and down, and to also start planning each month. If you're not a journalist kind of thing, you know, journal things down. Even if you just do month by month, you know, just have a little notebook and put what I need to do, because that's what the Hermit is saying. All right. 3 months left. Oh my goodness, this is going to be the hard time. I'll say the 8th month is going to be your rough one. You're going to be ready to pop that thing out. Okay, great. Well, okay, so this is a real challenging time for you. So remember to be communicative, understand that each other's a lot of stress. Try to keep that stress level down. I will tell you to try to do whatever you can in the home to keep that stress down. It will affect the baby a little bit, because I had an extremely stressful pregnancy, and she has a little bit more anxiety than I ever thought she would. So you know, there's a lot of resources that you can go to. Actually, well, I used to be homeless, and went from homeless to owning a business in 1 year. So there's a lot of resources. Reach out to your county. You know, I think 211 is actually, but your county actually has, and your city actually has a lot of resources now with COVID. Reach out to them. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but even if you reach out to a local church, they have resources and people that will help you. There's food banks also, all that kind of thing. And don't be afraid to reach out. Let me tell you something about churches. They're not going to push their religion on you. I mean, I belonged to churches for many years, but I'm more spiritual now. But I could go into a church and they would not push anything down you. You just tell them, hey, what can you do? Or do you have any resources I can call and go to? With the COVID, there's a lot of resources out there, because a lot of people don't have jobs. And so even if you have like Facebook, there's on your community, there's those community things that you can actually go onto and ask, hey, does anybody know? We're stuck. I don't have a job. My husband's just starting. Does anybody know? And some of them even are taking them on donations. But shoot, I know people that don't even have 10 cents in their pocket, and I try to help them as much as I can. So reach out to the churches, reach out to the county. They have, like our county has electrical help, utility help. They actually have a phenomenal amount of lists of resources that you can do and places you can go. But the churches are actually a really good resource. Even if you go to like a non-denominational church, or, you know, whatever it is in your area, be sure to go there. So, but I appreciate your question. I hope this helped you. Hang in there. Be strong. Be loving to yourself. Take some deep breaths. The divine and spirit is with you 100%. He knows you. When you ask the divine, be specific. You have to share. I need daycare for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Please find me daycare. You have to be specific. And I would love to know, if you do that, what you actually come up with and what the divine shares and gives you a miracle of, because he will. Be specific to the T of what you're asking, and he will deliver it for you. I know he will. Trust me. I've been there way too many times. So take care of yourself. Thank you, Virgos, and we'll see you next week. I hope that helps.